hit the button, John. Gee whiz. Welcome to it. It's a Monday. You can tell it's a Monday. Welcome to Soccer's in Session here daily because we're in the playoffs and folks got to talk playoffs and all these kinds of things. So it is a stacked show. We're going to go back over the weekend. We still have some matches that have to be played today in round number one that hadn't started, and one that started and didn't finish last week. And so a team has to drive from one end of the planet to the other. We'll get into that coming up in just a little bit. We got brackets. We got wrap-up from round one from all we can see. But first, officially in a no dilly, no dally zone, time to catch up with our friend of the network, Chad Griffin. And I don't know if you know Chad, but Chad is the head coach at Hebron Christian, but he's also the head coach at Hebron Christian. And what I mean by that is he's coach of both the girls' side and the boys' side. How are you holding up, man?
Doing good, man. It's an exciting part of the year. Having both teams getting ready for second round state playoffs and A through 3A private, which is a whole nother gambit, right? You know, with the power rankings and everything with that. But excited to be into round two and get prepared for our doubleheader on Thursday.
So it is a doubleheader Thursday. That was going to be my first question.
Yeah, so we're going to host Mount Vernon girls at 5:30, and then we'll end the night with Trinity Christian boys at 7:30. So all the parties agreed upon that. Trinity's coach is super nice, man. Mike's just great dude down there, and we had already kind of text if things went our ways. But he had an exciting game too, man. He had a 2-1 overtime game versus Weber School, so it was fun to watch his as well.
So so we'll take it a team at a time. But since you're talking about that particular matchup, when you're doing scouting, do you want your entire staff with you to watch, or do you want everybody to watch it separately so you can get your own intel and then come together? How do you consume information?
So our staff watches it separately because I like for them. They all see things differently. My people and I got basically the same staff for two programs, but I got, one or two different for the boys that really look and break down film for me. And I like for them to watch it separately. Then they'll send me notes on like, hey, what their thoughts were on certain situational, things that happened during the game. And hey, I think if we do this, or if we cover this guy this way or whatever. So I like for them to look at separately because I want them to be free thinkers in that mindset. And a perfect example, it was funny watching the, El Clasico on Saturday, and one of my coaches sent me the clip of that pass that led to the goal, and the commentators just killing the guy about hey, not stepping to the pass that caused the goal. Well, and that's how my assistant read it. But the first thing I text him back, I was like, well, why are we playing a diagonal ball in the final third across the middle to begin with? I said, and so it was funny. And he was like, you're right. Why we play that ball? And so, we saw two different things. He saw, the guy not stepping to the ball. I was like, why in God's creation we playing that ball to begin with? So, I like for him to see different things, and then I kind of take it all in and read it and go from there.
How long did it take you to get to that, or have you always been wired that way?
I think I've just always been wired that way. I had one of my first stops as assistant coach at St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas. My head boys coach was like that. When he would give stuff for me to break down, he never wanted to watch it together. He's like, we just watched it separately. And he used to be a Dell Computer guy. He was a very, he grew up in Austin, worked for Dell Computer coming out of college. And he was kind of wired that way. He's like, hey, I want your free read on it, and then we'll come together and compare notes, because I just like seeing different things. And then when I got to Stetson in Florida, Sean Murphy was our head coach there. Just a really good guy. He was assistant Clemson under Ibram. And so everything that he had learned under Ibram, he kind of was teaching me about what he saw and how to read the game and things of that nature. So I've just always been in that mindset, and the mentors I had kind of guided me down that path.
So when you have a question, who's on your speed dial? Are any of your mentors on your speed dial? Who do you call when you have questions these days?
So one of my former assistants at Calvary, She's actually the assistant at St. Vincent's now, Sierra Thomas. She played goalkeeper at SCAD. And so she was with me for almost 8 to 10 years at Calvary as my assistant girls coach. And then the last couple of years, she would always just stay for the boys' games. And we're both goalkeepers, and so we're both kind of defensive minded. So, but we look at the game in totally two different perspectives. And so it's kind of funny that we're same position, but we look at things differently. And so she's always someone, from my standpoint, outside of my staff, that we'll text a lot and just look at stuff because we have the same mindset, but we see things differently as well.
So I'm looking at my private girls state official soccer championship bracket here. So if say, let's just say that after the doubleheader, if you were to beat Team 17, Mount Vernon,
who's really good, by the way.
Yes,
they're not a 17 seed.
We'll get into that in a second. And if, say, the 9th ranked team in the scoreboard rankings, who, if I'm staring at the name correctly, is named St. Vincent's.
Yes.
They get Holy Innocents, who's ranked number 5.
Yep.
After the doubleheader, say, and let's just say for the sake of argument, if things happen where Hebron was to play St. Vincent's, does that mean that between Thursday and May the 5th, presumably, that conversation would cease to exist? Or are you guys still talking that week?
I think we're still talking, obviously, about different things, how, our approach is to practice and to training is probably more how we discuss things when it gets to that part. Hey, what's the output? What are you doing here? Type deal. But we've been so we've been together for so long from that standpoint. We kind of know each other, and so like she knows exactly how I'm going to play, what I'm going to do. There's no secret to that. It's the same thing with her. And so it'd be a lot of fun. But like I said, we both have our work cut out for us on Thursday this week for sure.
So Mount Vernon's not a 17, huh?
No, sir, they're not. I've watched them play 2-3 games now, and I've been telling my staff and our kids that to me they're a mix between South Gwinnett with size and their physicality, but their speed and technical ability of a Whitfield Academy, who we've both played. They beat Whitfield as well, but they got some parts now. But I tell people all the time, you can't look at so much seeding in A through 3A private. You got to look at what region they come out of.
Yeah.
They come out of the region of death, right? So they're in there with Wesleyan and Fellowship, Mount Perrin, and Walker and everybody else. So that is like the toughest region in the state of Georgia in soccer. And then you got AIS on the other side, and it's just brutal. And so I'm like, they're probably legitimately a top 10 team, if not more, but because they play in the hardest region in the state with some of the best teams in the state, they get bumped down. And we're going to have our hands full, man. They got really great pace up top and out wide. Their backs are big and physical. Their outside back on the right loves to push and overlap. They scored off of 3 set pieces against Trinity. On last week, they scored off a free kick from 35 out, and then 2 corner kicks in the second half within a span of 2 minutes. So, like, we better have our stuff together. You're going to get hurt quickly.
Speaking of which, Fellowship right now, Team 12, number 6 in the scoreboard rankings. Wesleyan, Team 4, and they are ranked number 1.
They should be, yeah.
And so, you're looking at that region of death being what it is. Now, and because you were Team 1 on the girls' side and Team 2 on the boys' side, you ended up with first-round buys. Would you have still wanted to play, or did you need the time off?
For the boys, we need the time off. We had 2 guys who had been injured. Adam Locke, our center back's been out for about a month now with a foot issue, and he finally got cleared and came back last week. Aiden Chancellor, who he had to have his appendix taken out over spring break down in Florida. And so he got cleared in the last week to practice. So there are two guys have been just massive for us to start every game since their freshman year. We didn't have against Tequila. And so that week was good to get them back last week. And for our girls, we need a bit of a reset. It was the best week of practice we had pretty much all year from an intensity level. It really allowed us to push them, probably way beyond their comfort zone, which we needed to get to help them understand what Thursday is going to be like. And it was great. They responded, fantastically. So I was really happy with our week of practice.
So am I to gather, is it normal where you want to sit there and make practice week the most difficult part, where the game is the easiest part of
I mean, we push those jokers, not our boys as much, but we, because there were some, just trying to hold them. But our girls, we made it extremely difficult, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, really pushed them. And it was great. I love how they responded. Because we got a young group. I start 5 freshmen, and so we need them to grow up. And I've told them, I said, you're not freshmen, you're soccer players. And so, hey, I expect you to play and respond like that. And so I was really happy how they responded last week, and we just made them really uncomfortable for 3 days, but they embraced it, and it was great.
How, when you have your appendix taken out, I mean, what is rehab to get back in? And I know that, when they're high schoolers, the regenerative powers are a lot better than they are when they're my age. But how do you manage that to where you want him out there? What Aiden means, but you also have to just remember he just came out of surgery. I mean, this isn't just like, hey, you run up and you stand up on your feet and you're ready to go. That's got to be something hard to navigate.
Yeah. So I mean, our spring break was the second week of April, so the 7th through the 11th. He woke up Wednesday night, the April the 9th, just like sick as a dog. And they were down at Amaria. Dad took him to Sarasota, and they said, hey, man, your appendix got to come out. And so they had the Da Vinci machine. So he had 3 incisions in his side, so they didn't have to cut him open. So that was really the biggest thing. So he had 3 kind of 3/4-inch incisions. The doctor was back there on the little machine, like a robot controlling it. And, 1 was from the camera, 2 was the incision. They sucked it out and, glued his skin back together. And, so he set out the Tequila and Rockdale game and, started practicing a little bit more last week. And he should be good to go by Thursday. But you're right. The regenerative powers of youth is much different. But I told his dad, I said, listen, I'm not putting him out there till you give me permission or doctor gives me permission. Like I care about him as a human being way more than I care about a soccer player. He's going on to bury and play, so I want him to be healthy for the summer and everything. And his dad and the doctor in Sarasota gave him the clear, last Wednesday to roll. So he's, we'll probably limit his minutes some in the first half to see how he is. But golly, he was killing me on the sideline, those 2 games. And then last week, I'm like, hey, we got to tone it down, brother. And he was just so antsy. He has started every game since his freshman year, and probably the most minutes played of anybody in our program. And it hurt my heart for him not to start and play those last 2 games, because he had started every game. But he understood and knew, and getting back to state playoffs was the most important thing. So he'll be ready to roll, so I'm excited for him and really excited to have Adam back as well, because it just allows us to do some different things in the midfield up top. We got so many. We don't really have true forwards. If you look at our stats, we got about 5 guys, who have double digits in goals. And so, Benji Gungy's a sophomore, but everything he does is from the attacking center mid spot. Same, Sam Carlson, I can roll in at center mid or up top. I think he's got 16, 17 goals. Reese Kanzler, Aiden's little brother, is a freshman. He's going to be really special. I think he's got 14, 15 goals. Then Archie Mendra is kind of our super sub. I think he's got 13 goals. And so, and Aiden's got 7 in his own right and 13 assists. So it's good to have 6 guys, that are able to find the back of the net. So you can't just focus on one guy with us.
And you're going up against number 7 on the boys' side, Trinity. So it's Trinity boys, number 7 versus number 2. And then you get Mount Vernon, who is not a true 17. Nothing like study hall for this bunch, eh?
Oh, without a doubt, man. That's for sure. And the crazy thing, if our boys get to advance, we play the winner of Country Day and Holy Innocents.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are fortunate enough to get past that, that would be, in Country Day wins, that'd be the 3rd year in a row we would face Country Day in the Elite Eight.
What's it been like to see the sport grow with all the time that you spent, whether it's Texas or Florida, and the time that you spent in Savannah there at Calvary Day, and seeing all of these pockets grow? What's it been like to see the sport grow in all these different sections of the country for you?
It's just so much fun, right? When I was in Texas, this was 2000, 99, 2000. There were only 2 D1 men's soccer programs in Texas at the time, TCU and SMU. And so, Texas got rated by every D1 in the country would come to Texas and recruit the Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio area. And, we're just trying to keep kids that want to stay in Texas and didn't want to leave. But it's been fun to see the growth of the game, the level of coaching as well, level of training is just so different so this is my 24th year of high school soccer now.
Wow.
And so the level of play from the kids from when I got to Calvary in 2002 to now is just light years difference. And I attribute that to the World Cup, MLS, and everybody else. It's like these kids now are super dedicated. The training is better. The coaching's better. And the game is so much faster. And so it's fun to watch and so much more technical.
So cut the promo for me, if you would, sir. Once again, let everybody know what's going on as Hebron Christian's girls take on the not 17, Team 17 in Mount Vernon. And it is number 2 versus number 7 on the boys' side, where you get to host Trinity Christian. Hit the promo for me. Let folks know why they should wander onto campus and see what's going on.
One, it's going to be exciting. Host a doubleheader. It's kind of rare. You don't really get that a lot at times, Georgia High School. It's rare that you get to host, 2 teams get to host at the same time. So that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of talented kids on the field from all 4 teams, guys and girls. And so it should be a great environment here Thursday night. Nothing else is really going on for us. So it should be exciting.
Thursday night, doubleheader at Hebron Christian in Decula. So that means that we turn the page to May 1st. And like I said,
that's crazy wild.
Calendars. I have this calendar that's got all the writing on it. I have this for the daily sheet with all the guests and everything where it says Chad Griffin, noon, in session. And I have all my brackets going on. As always, my friend, great to see you. Can't wait for the doubleheader. And congratulations on letting everybody else knock each other around a little bit. And now you're up to the business end of the schedule here in the playoffs. Always great to see you, my friend. Thanks for dropping by.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having us on, man. Appreciate you.
There we go. There goes Chad. And so it's a doubleheader. Doubleheader, officially official. It is, since Chad said it, it must be true. It is going to be true. A doubleheader at Hebron for, once again, girls and boys, Thursday. Hebron Christian ranked number 7 as team number 1 on the private side, courtesy of our friends at Scoreboard. And then they're taking on the atypical Team 17 in Mount Vernon. And then on the boys' side, so once again, see right here, bracket number 1, right there, upper left, Hebron Christian and Mount Vernon. Number 7 versus number 7 ranked Team 1 taking on Team 17, who beat Trinity Christian 3-0. As you heard Chad break the match down in round 1. So the round of 16, upper left in your bracket on the girls' side, lower right in your bracket on the boys' side. Hebron Christian ranked number 2 taking on Trinity Christian ranked number 7. 2-1 Trinity Christian over the Weber School. They go to Decula to take on Hebron Christian. So doubleheader Thursday. Did I mention it's a doubleheader Thursday? Doubleheader Thursday on the campus of Hebron Christian. And it is going to be some fantastic matchups there that are going to be dropping in round 2. Once again, when you're one of the top teams, you get to kind of watch everybody else knock each other around a little bit. So that's going to be fun to see how that evolves when it comes to these matchups there. So since we are on these pages, we'll go ahead and let you know what else happened. And once again, the matchups are set for Thursday. We'll let you know what happened last week to get us into this week. So Hebron Christian, once again, they got to wave at everybody and sit there and watch film. Mount Vernon beat Trinity Christian 3-0. Number 5, Holy Innocents And St. Vincent's had no problems with North Cobb Christian and Mount Bethel, teams 24 and 25. So that sets up Holy Innocents and St. Vincent's, number 5 versus number 9 at ranked number 9, team 8, St. Vincent's. That's the upper left section of the bracket for private girls. Lovett shut out Kings Ridge. Fellowship shut out Galloway. Paideia shut out Mount Pisgah. And Wesleyan shut out Landmark. So you had the number 3, the number 6, and the number 1 team in the scoreboard rankings advance. Lovett, number 3, is going to play Fellowship Christian. They're going to host Fellowship Christian on the campus of the Lovett School. Paideia is team 13. They go to Wesleyan, and they get to go up 141 in the Peachtree Parkway right there at Peachtree and Spalding. On one side, if you turn right, you keep going down the road, it's Norcross High School. You turn left, you go to Wesleyan. That's how this works on Spalding Drive in Norcross. So Lovett, Fellowship. Lovett is hosting Fellowship. Paideia taking on Wesleyan. That's low left on the girls' side. GAC shut out St. Francis. Darlington shut out Aquinas. AIS shut out Providence Christian. Calvary Day, ranked number 10, shut out the Weber School. So you have number 2, GAC, advance. They're going to host Darlington. AIS, ranked team 22. They're going to go down to the coast to take on Calvary Day at number 10. Low right, Athens Academy shuts out Savannah Christian. Whitfield Academy at number 8 shuts out Prince Avenue. Walker School beats Mount Perrin Christian 2-1. And Savannah Country Day shuts out Christian Heritage. So you had number 8 Whitfield advance. They're going to go to Athens Academy. You had team 15 in the Walker School advance, and they will go down to Savannah Country Day. That is low right. Once again, this is girls' side now. And so one of the things, now that I'm talking it through, only one matchup on the girls' side in the private bracket had a goal scored by the team that lost. So that's just something to keep an eye on when it comes to how you structure things. Just food for thought going forward on the girls' side. Boys' side, GAC ranked number 1. Their upper left. They had the bye, and they got to see Paideia beat the Walker School 2-0. So Paideia advances to take on GAC. These are matchups that are going to be on Friday unless scheduled differently, because as Chad had, it was double headers. Number 8 Wesleyan shut out Mount Perrin. Aquinas beat Galloway. So it's going to be Wesleyan traveling to Augusta to take on Aquinas. That's your upper left bracket on the private boys side. Savannah Christian shut out St. Francis. Mount Vernon shut out Darlington. Landmark shut out Athens Academy. AIS had a bye. So that means that Savannah Christian at team 5 will host number 9 Mount Vernon. Landmark at team 13, they're going to go take on AIS. Providence Christian had a bye. They get Calvary Day, who beat Fellowship 5-4, and they will travel to Providence Christian in round 2. Whitfield ranked number 6. They beat North Cobb Christian. Team 11 over team 22. They travel to Lovett to take on the Lovett School, who beat Mount Pisgah by 8 goals. Low right, Savannah Country Day ranked number 5. Holy Innocents, as we talked about with Chad just a minute ago. Holy Innocents shut out Christian Heritage. Savannah Country Day shut out Prince Avenue. So Savannah Country Day is going to host Holy Innocents. Winner of that one gets the winner of Trinity and Hebron. And Trinity Christian ranked number 7. Hebron Christian ranked number 2. That's your boys brackets on the private side. So now we go back to Dooley County. And we get to find out what's going on down there at Dooley County. This is fantastic. Coach, how are you? Nathan Nadeau, what's going on?
I'm good. How are you?
You tell me. You're the one that had the busy weekend, so break it down for me. What happened?
Yes, sir. We had it was a nail-biter game against our first-round opponent. Thankfully, my back line was really on it. Played great. Guys really limited their opportunities, and then near the end of the game, we were able to get a nice cross from Angela to Eunice, and Eunice was able to sneak one in, gets a nice 1-0 win. And then our boys, the next day, they didn't play their best, but they're still able to take care of business against Crawford to go on the second round as well.
Class A Division II, for those following along in their brackets, and I found my brackets really quickly here. So as you can see, the writing is in pen, so that means that you did advance. Girls side 1-0 over Southwest Georgia STEM. And as team 2s, this means that you play Portal. So number 10 plays number 6 in the scoreboard rankings. Portal in a big matchup back and forth against Brooks County. So Dooley, and because you're the same team number, right? You travel to Portal, that's right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're traveling to Portal tomorrow. It's a long ride for us.
I was going to say it's a matchup on the 29th where you're traveling to Portal. You're going from basically Vienna to Statesboro and then wandering some more there in Bullitt County. How much film study have you gotten in the last, X number of days?
I have been able to watch some of them. They got a couple games up on the NFHS network. So I've been watching them, and then after our practice today, me and my girls are going to watch them some too to get ready for tomorrow.
And so you've got that matchup, and then Dooley County's boys ranked number 5. You got to host Crawford County, and Crawford County, on both the boys and the girls side, they've been able to put up some numbers offensively this season. You win that one 4-1, and once again, because you're 2 Team 2s, Eccles County and Claxton. So Claxton beat Eccles County 7-2. So then you get to travel. So how does this work? So laughing with allergies is always fun. So,
Yeah.
all right. Dooley goes to Portal on the girls' side. And then basically you drive home, you pick up the boys' team, and you travel to Claxton. Is this how this works? Where
Yes,
you're
sir.
Yellow Hounds at 55 cents a mile back-to-back days?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's going to be a couple long nights.
I just, when you're planning like this, and then obviously, you're getting the road trip in, and that's fantastic for the program to make it to round number 2 and the round of 16. But when it comes to film study and planning, knowing that you have back-to-back road trips heading in the same direction, except one day you head north off of 16 and the other day you head south off of 16. How much of a challenge is this for you and the coaching staff, knowing that you're not going to be spending any time on campus after, because you got to get the girls to Portal, because the boys the next day, they've got to get ready for the matchup against Claxton?
Yeah. So I believe, our boys will probably have a nice film session on Tuesday where my girls go play with the boys coach. And then we're going to get our film in today as well. But yeah, it's going to be a couple of late nights for me getting back from Portal, get a couple hours of sleep, then head back. Especially, we got state testing this week for our middle school, so you can't be missing days because I got small groups I have to test. So yeah.
Well, all right. So then now that you've mentioned that, okay, so how does this work when it comes to the testing that you've got going on in school, plus the coaching and the back-to-back days of the long road trips? I mean, what's it like having this kind of did you let the administration know ahead of time, hey, this may happen? Or was this like we won and then it's like you're running into the front office and you're making sure the key card works so you can keep your momentum going? Hey, I got to talk to everybody. How does this conversation work so you can continue the academic part with the athletic part?
Yeah, I mean, because if it wasn't for testing, I might be able to, take a nice half day, sleep in some, then come up for the bus on Wednesday. But because of the testing, I'm gonna be there because we got that. I work with a small group of kids, so if I'm not there to do it, it's really putting a strain on. We're a small county, so it'd be putting a strain on them. So I'll suck it up and make it.
I mean, it's. Have you ever, I guess I was going to ask, have you ever had a challenge like this as a coach in a program before? And what's it like to have this challenge for this program to get to this point to where you're having to juggle all these different things? Obviously, it says a lot for the program, but, this is what comes with it, I guess.
Yeah, we made it to the Elite Eight a couple years ago with the girls, and we had to go all the way down to McIntosh County Academy. And that's the Savannah area drive again. And but it wasn't during testing, and unfortunately the boys weren't playing. It was just us, so I was able to come back. We got back about 2 a.m. I was able to take a day the next day to recover. But right now there's no time to recover. But I mean, it's a good situation to be in. We would rather have these 2 games and not be in it. So it's just a suck it up and make it type moment.
When it comes to Claxton, how much studying has gone on against Claxton's football program? How much studying have you done so far?
So I haven't had a chance to look at him, but the boys coach, he's looked at him a lot. He's started breaking him down. He's got a good feel for it.
When you're this deep and you have all of these things going on, is it more focusing? It's like, okay, how deep in film study, say, against Portal have you gone into so far? Have you gone back? I know that you mentioned tapping into the network to look at things, but how far back are you going to go? Or is it just, okay, here's my recency, I'll go with this and then focus on myself?
Yeah, I've been focusing on the most recent game, their playoff game. It was on NFHS, so that's the one I've been looking at. We got a game against Claxton girls that on Huddle that we're going to look at today. That the NFHS is great, but the camera doesn't always follow the action how you want it to.
Right.
Like I haven't got a good view of their shooting because it's looking at their back line. So I'm hoping this next game will give me a better view of their shooting. I got a nice breakdown from the Claxton coach on them as well that I've been sharing with my girls. So,
well, how does that conversation go? Do you dial up the coach and go, I know that your school's playing my boys team, and I'll let you guys handle that over here. Yeah. But is it networking if one thing doesn't work out? And how big a network do you have? What's your phone look like when it comes to all your numbers?
I don't have that big of a network, unfortunately. But see, we had something in common. The Claxton girls are playing the GMC girls.
Okay.
So they reached out to me about how GMC plays. And since they're playing Portal, we were able to trade and talk a little bit that way.
And how much of an adventure is this for you? I mean, you've gone deep in the playoffs before, but what's it like as the program continues to grow? What's this adventure been like for you when it comes to this program?
I mean, it's been great. It's been great for me to see them, grow and keep going. I mean, I'm hoping we get a win tomorrow so we can just keep getting another week. Trying to take it week by week right now, day by day. But I mean, it's been a great adventure. It's been wonderful. I told my seniors I'm just not ready to let them go yet. So
when you have those seniors, what were they like as freshmen?
Most of them were starters and contributors as freshmen. Actually, we came in, had to really kind of build the program from ground up, and they were a big part of that foundation. And it really shows because they've had those experiences starting since they were freshmen to really grow into leading this program and being the foundation for it.
My last question for you really is, when you look at the last handful of years, you mentioned how they were as freshmen and now where they are as seniors. Did you have a gut feeling when they were freshmen that this could be something special here, or was it something that kind of took over with time where it wasn't like this steep bell curve or anything like that, but it was stair steps, or was it a bell curve for you with this growth?
No, it was a bell curve because their freshman year we won 2 games. Their sophomore year we won 9. So I mean, we got second in the region, and that's the year we went to the Elite 8. So I mean, it was a steep. Like they came in, I could see that they were going to help me, and then that next year we just shot up.
What's it like having? I don't know. Do you feel like you've got a bullseye on your back now at times with everybody wandering in there in Dooley County to sit there and go, oh, okay, they're building now. Yeah. Does it feel like you've got a bullseye on your back?
I mean, at times I know Eunice, my striker, does, because I always hear follow 9, watch 9. So she's had a bullseye on her back. People know who she is.
I mean, but that's a good thing. I mean, it's a good problem to have. When it comes to having a striker that's as talented as she is, and to get the attention that you're getting. Have you thought about their legacy?
Yeah. I mean, they're the most successful class that have come through the girls' side of the program in school history. So yeah, they're leaving a legacy of success, and hopefully we're just able to continue on and build in their footsteps. And
no pressure for you, right?
Yeah.
As always, it's great to catch up with you and find out what's going on down there in Vienna. And when I have people legitimately who will either listen to the show, they'll watch it live, or like you, they'll go to our YouTube channel after the fact that we're now having conversations with a Dooley County, with a Tryon, with a Model, with Portal, all of these different locations, what's going on in the mountains. You're a part of the growth of all of this down there. It's fantastic to see what you and the staffs are doing down there at Dooley. But I couldn't resist, and I know that coaches are creatures of habit, that when you win, And if this was a part of it, that means you got to hop back in and you've got to continue
Yes,
to have
sir.
this kind of stuff. So seriously, legitimately, love the fact that you're doing what you're doing down there. Good luck this week coming up on the girls' side traveling to Portal, you getting your nap in, and then the boys having to travel to Claxton during testing. Thanks again for hopping in during your lunch hour. Go get some lunch. We'll catch up with you soon. Great work down there at Dooley County. Thanks again for hopping by, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all very much for having me. Appreciate it.
You got it. Nathan Nadeau, the head coach down at Dooley County. Girls' side once again, beating Southwest Georgia STEM 1-0. So they advance and they're traveling to Portal. And that was why I had to get into the conversations where, he's got his girls, but he's got testing. And the girls are getting so. All right, let's workshop this for a second. I don't know. All right, so let's go to the Google Maps machine, and what we'll do is we will map out the drive, because I know it's not just like going from the rest stop there, because if you're traveling southbound on 75, there's always that rest stop at Vienna in Dooley County that you can always hop off, and everybody talks about the Big Pig Jig and stuff like that, where you can go. And so let's do this. All right, so here we go. Dooley County High School, and Dooley County High School, 3rd Street in Vienna. Now to go to Portal and Portal High School. No, not Portal del Norte. All right, so Portal Middle High, US 80, Portal, Georgia. And like I said, I don't know if Coach Nadeau has researched this yet or not. It is okay. Well, that's not too bad. If you go on I-16, literally, if you go up and down, you cut across to Dublin. Here's what you do. Fastest route, you go across to Dublin. So from Vienna, from Vienna through Cochrane, and then you hop on in Dublin, and then you go east. It is 2 hours and 16 minutes if you leave right now. So if you leave right now, right this very second, if you leave Dooley County High School and you go to Portal and you go to Portal Middle High, it's 2 hours and 16 minutes, 131 miles. Well, that's not bad. That's not as bad as I thought, because I was thinking if you went up and then out, like if you went up to Macon and then out and then got to Portal, that adds another 26 minutes if you leave this very second. So 2 hours and 16 minutes, 131 miles. So then coming back, making sure that the buses are fueled up, going out to Claxton High School. So Claxton High on the Hendricks Street extension from Dooley County, 133 miles. So basically, you're doing the same drive twice. You're doing the same drive twice. If you go Dooley County through Hawkinsville and Chester and Dexter, and you go that way, Hawkinsville, Chester, Dexter, you get out to Dublin. Then you go out and then you go down. It's 2 hours and 20 if you leave right this very second. So it's a 2 mile, 4 minute difference. But you're still clocking 264 miles round. It's 266 and 262. So 538 miles total in a 2-day period. So it's make sure that you've got the buses either maintained or just different buses. But literally, it is a 2 mile difference either way, and then it's the same amount of time. But so that's what Portal has to. I mean, that's what Dooley has to do to go to Portal and go to Claxton. Class A Division II girls, ladies first. We always believe that. Mount Zion Carroll had a bye. Lake Oconee Academy had a bye. And then Dooley and Portal, that's your upper right bracket. Lower right, GMC shut out Macon County. Claxton shut out Atkinson County. Team 3 went to Pearson and beat Team 2. And so GMC ranked number 9 on the girls' side, according to our friends at Scoreboard. Greene County takes on number 1 Tryon. We are trying to get Tryon on the show, both boys and girls, because the boys are ranked number 7. We'll get to them in a second. Girls are ranked number 1. Bryan County, upper left, they will take on Irwin County, and they have to travel to number 7, Irwin County, and that one's going to be at Buddy Noble's in Osceola. Hawkinsville beat Chatco in PKs as a Team 3 upsetting Team 2. They will travel to Elite Scholars, and that was probably going to be at Steel Road. It's going to be at Steel Road Stadium at the New Morrow High School. That one is going to be tomorrow. You mentioned Crawford County. Crawford County's girls beat Trutland 2-1, and they get to host Towns County. So Towns County, after beating they get to host Atlanta Classical, who beat Towns County 5-2. So Crawford County is Team 1 in their quadrant. Get to host ACA. That one once again tomorrow. Lanier County and number 2 Screven County. That one is going to be in Sylvania. So that is your rundown of the girls in Class A Division 2. Boys Class A Division 2. Once again, Mount Zion and Lake Oconee Academy. So it's a doubleheader, and don't be surprised if that's a doubleheader on either the 29th or the 30th at LOA. LOA on the boys' side ranked number 3. Dooley and Claxton, Dooley ranked number 5 on the boys' side. GMC, and that's your upper right bracket. Lower right, GMC shutout Manchester ranked number 1. Brooks County shutout Portal ranked number 9. So number 9, Brooks County goes to GMC. Then Washington, Wilkes, and Tryon. We mentioned that one. Tryon's ranked number 7. Washington, Wilkes travels from Washington, and they go up to Tryon. They go like that way. So then Bryan County goes to Atco, who's ranked number 2 on the boys' side. That one's in Pearson. These are for Wednesday. Montgomery County shut out Macon County, and the matchup that we had here on the SDH Network with Atlanta Classical ranked number 10 taking on Lincoln County at number 8. Montgomery County travels once again probably to Silverbacks Park to take on ACA. Don't be surprised if it's another 5 o'clock start during the week, and that one once again originally slated for Wednesday. If you don't know where your favorite team is playing or what they're doing, then make sure that you follow them on their social media and make sure that you can go to their school website and let you know what's going on there. Chatco over Wheeler County 5-1. As Team 1, they host Towns. Towns beat Elite Scholars 4-3 in a shootout. So number 4 travels to Chatco, and Irwin County takes on number 6 Metter. That's Class A Division 2 boys. So getting you ready for round number 2. There is nothing happening today that has been scheduled for round number 2 because legitimately we got to get through round number 1. And there are a couple of matchups that are happening today that will put a bow on round number 1. And I say that because in Class AAA girls, Islands and Luella are tonight in Luella at 6. So if you are in the Southern Crescent or if you're traveling from Savannah, Monday night, 6 o'clock at Luella, Team 6 is hosting Team 27 on the girls' side in AAA. That will fill out the bracket in AAA. That will get everybody online, and that will get it all taken care of. The next round for a couple of classes is tomorrow. We'll go over them coming up in just a second. The other matchup that there are 2 other matchups to get into on the boys' side that were pushed back to Monday, and one of them, we'll see if we can catch up with the winner of Hart County and Callaway, number 3 versus number 7. They made it into overtime, and then the weather hit. So if you're Hart County, if you were the Hart County Soccer Bulldogs, you went from Hartwell on Friday to Hogansville. Let's workshop this, shall we? So, once again, using the Google Maps machine. So, what we'll do here, once again, Google Maps, we'll go from Hartwell. So, Hart County High School, 5th Street in Hartwell is where it is from the Google Maps machine. We're not going to Burlington, North Carolina, but we are going to Callaway. Callaway High School. So Callaway High, and Coach Mike Petit, he'd mentioned that they have done some really cool work there on campus. It is a 173-mile drive. If you take 85, you come down 85, you take 85 from one end to the other. You did this on Friday, 173 miles up and back. So you put 356 miles on whatever vehicle you used on Friday. You weren't done. You have to go back to Callaway today to play the overtime period. You're tied in overtime today. And I think it's a 6 o'clock kick. Hang on just a second. Kevin Eckleberry down in that particular part of the world had the answer because he was actually there. And so Kevin Eckleberry, he mentions that, where is it? It gets through the baseball from what he shot. So let me scroll down because it was a dark and stormy night. So postponed, finish playing 5 o'clock. So to get there at, say, 4, you're leaving probably in about 15 minutes. Tied 2-2 late in the first of the 2 10-minute overtimes. So what you are literally doing, you are literally driving from Hart County for the second time in 4 days because you have to get this done. You're going from Hartwell down I-85, 173 miles to play an overtime period, the tail end of the first one, another overtime period. So you're looking at, say, maybe at minimum 15 minutes of action, and then maximum that plus PKs to determine a winner who goes to the second round, who then in turn would travel to Crisp on Friday. So you would be going from either you'd be going from Hogansville to Cordele, or you'd be going from Hartwell to Cordele on Friday after playing and finishing up 15 minutes max, or 15 minutes minimum if another goal is scored, plus PKs if it gets to that point. So you're traveling 173 miles from one to the other to play, say, 15 minutes plus maybe PKs to wrap up round number 1 in boys AA. Then AD1 boys, the last matchup there, Gordon Central is hosting Coosa Monday tonight at 6:30. So you have that one on the board. And then I thought there was a third one on the boys' side. Am I wrong? I thought it was 3, but it might have been just 3 overall. So Hart County. So it was 3 overall. Okay, so it's the Hart County finish, the Gordon Central match, and then the one on the girls' side. So 3 matches today to get you into matches that start up tomorrow. So that's where we are. But Callaway and Hart County has to travel 173 miles to play maybe 15 minutes if another goal is scored, and then 15 minutes plus PKs starting at 5 o'clock. So I would recommend to you, if you are anywhere near, go and catch this match. Go and catch the finish of the match. Like I said, if you're in the Hogansville area, if you're buzzing by town, if you live in LaGrange, you have nothing. If you're on your way home, do this. You're on your way home in the LaGrange area and or Hogansville near Callaway School. Go see the end of this match because it means a lot to these schools, and especially it means a lot to Hart County because for the second time in 4 days, they're having to drive a 356-mile drive. So that's what they're doing to finish up the Class A brackets. You have the one being played from absolute beginning, Coosa and Gordon Central, and then the remnants of the match of number 3 versus number 7, Callaway hosting Hart County. Try and have the winner of that one on tomorrow's show, and then we will break it down what happened there with those matchups. Yikes, kids. All right, so let's go over what is going to be happening tomorrow. We'll go over the rest of those brackets. You have the girls are going tomorrow in 3 classifications. The boys are going starting on Wednesday. And like I said, Wednesday for us is going to be Johns Creek at McIntosh. We are still waiting to figure out what our matches are going to be on Thursday and Friday. When we know, we'll let you know. We've got some ideas. We'll let you know. So then on the 29th, 1, 2, 3, and then you end up with day off March 1st or May 1st, March 1st. All right, so here's what's going to happen tomorrow. We'll let you know. It's 4, 5, and 6A girls. So in Quad A on the girls' side, Walnut Grove beat Jones County. They will host Druid Hills because Druid Hills went to Perry and beat them both. Thomas Bodnar and Kai Uchimura went down to Perry and got big wins for Druid Hills both times. So Druid Hills as a 4 seed goes to Walnut Grove. Cambridge plays Midtown in number 4 versus number 8. That one will be at Midtown. Cambridge shut out Southeast Whitfield. Midtown shut out Central Carroll. Eastside was down 1-0. They came back to beat Ola by the score of 7-1. As a 3, they go now to number 2 Marist, who shut out Wayne County. Westminster and Stars Mill, and we're going to have Coach Bowen on tomorrow from Stars Mill. Westminster is a 3 seed. They beat Dalton's girls. They will travel to Stars Mill. Stars Mill shut out Drew. So it is Westminster at number 9 Stars Mill, number 2 Marist hosting Eastside. So tomorrow, once again, John Bowen will be joining us off the top, and that will be 12:05 on your Tuesday. Right side in Quad A girls, Harris County as a 2 seed goes to number 1 Blessed Trinity. St. Pius, ranked number 6, shut out Ware, and they're going to go and they're going to host East Forsyth because East Forsyth as a 4 seed beat number 1 Locust Grove 4-2. So East Forsyth at number 6 St. Pius and Harris County at number 1 BT. The matchup of number 7 and number 10 Pace Academy, they shut out Northside Columbus as a 2 seed. They're now going to travel to number 5 Allatoona. You want to talk about one of the toughest mini brackets in this entire run? Number 5, number 7, number 10. 3 of the 4 teams in the mini bracket ranked. Pace goes to Allatoona, so number 7 plays at number 5. Northview shut out Warner Robins in a 3-2. They were going to travel to North Oconee, and North Oconee shut out Union Grove. So Northview travels to take on number 3 North Oconee. That's Quad A girls, and that is tomorrow. Once again, tomorrow as it's listed in the brackets in the GHSA. If somebody changes because of the possibility of a doubleheader like we had with Hebron Christian, keep an eye on all that stuff. It could shift a day one way or the other. 5A girls, Jackson County as a 2 seed. They are going to Greenbrier. Jackson County beat Thomas County Central. Greenbrier beat Rome 6-1. In the matchup that we had here on the network of number 7 and number 3, Lassiter and Chambly. That's a big one tomorrow. And Lassiter is going to Chambly. Chambly shut out Dutchtown. So number 3 Lassiter takes on Chambly. That one's going to be a big one. If you are anywhere close to North DeKalb Stadium, go. Loganville shut out Veterans. Villarica shut out Effingham County. Loganville travels to Villarica, low left. River Ridge had to go to PKs to beat Milton as the 3 seed. They're going to travel to number 6 Northgate, who beat Decatur 4-0. Right-hand side of the bracket, McIntosh at number 4. They are going to go take on number 2 Pope. That one is at Pope once again. That one is tomorrow. So number 4, after shutting out Dunwoody, and number 2, after shutting out Lanier, play each other in the second round, ranked number 4 at number 2. Alexander shut out Lakeside Evans, ranked number 9. They travel to Houston County to take on the Bears. They shut out Clark Central in a 1-4 matchup. So Alexander at Houston County. Lakeside DeKalb, whoop, whoop. Number 5, they shut out Noonan. They travel to number 1 Roswell, no whoop, whoop. Roswell beat number 10 Riverwood 3-1. So Lakeside DeKalb at Roswell, number 5 at number 1. Kennesaw Mountain went down to the coast to beat Glen Academy 2-1 in a 3-2. Hab Central, ranked number 8, shut out Lee County. So that's your matchup low right in 5A. Now in 6A girls, once again, all of these are slated for tomorrow. Mill Creek beat Carrollton 6-1. They travel to the coast to take on Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill beat Wheeler, shut out Wheeler. Then Lambert shut out Norcross, ranked number 6. South Gwinnett beat Paulding County, shut them out 3-0. So Mill Creek at Richmond Hill. Lambert is at South Gwinnett. Mountain View went to Chapel Hill, shut out Chapel Hill 5-0. Then take on Walton, ranked number 5. Walton shut out Colquitt County. So it is Mountain View in Raider Valley for that one. North Gwinnett and Denmark in a battle of number 8 versus number 10. Ryan Burkhart gets the win 4-0 over Jen Barr. Harrison shut out Grayson. So once again, tomorrow, number 8 North Gwinnett at number 4 Grayson. That one will be at Harrison High School. Right-hand side of the bracket, Hillgrove, ranked number 7, now travels to number 3 West Forsyth. Hillgrove shut out Archer. West Forsyth beat Parkview 7-2. So Hillgrove at West Forsyth. Then North Paulding shut out Lowndes. East Coweta in a shootout beat Collins Hill 4-3. Big back and forth there. So North Paulding is the 2, travels to East Coweta. Campbell at number 9 goes to number 1 Brookwood. Campbell shuts out Grovetown. Forsyth Central loses at Brookwood 5-2. I cannot remember the last time that Brookwood gave up goals. And we're going to look and find out when that was, because now that my curiosity has been piqued. Let's see. So Brookwood girls soccer. And we have reached out to Doc Mike Tolmick to see what his schedule is and see if he can join us at any time and find out what's going on there at Brookwood. 17-0, ranked number 3 nationally, ranked number 3 in the state of Georgia. And 7-0, they ran region without any problems. So the schedule for Brookwood, once again, they have given up 3 goals all year. 3. And, and 2 of them were to Forsyth Central. 17-0, 7-0. 2 of the 3 goals you've given up all season long, you gave up in your last match. So Brookwood at number 1, hosting Campbell at number 9. Cherokee beat Camden County in an upset in Kingsland as a 3-2. They will travel now to number 2, Buford, who shut out Westlake by the score of 10-0. So that's your matchups for tomorrow. That is how it looks in the brackets. One of the scores that we didn't have the chance to really talk about because we were still waiting for a final to come in, Model on the boys' side upset by Woodville Tompkins. Woodville Tompkins, the number 32 team, under 500 record, went to Model and won 3-2. So that pretty much blows up the Class A Division I bracket. Now, Woodville Tompkins, they travel to number 8 Putnam County, and that will be on Friday. So you have that one in Eatonton on Friday with Woodville Tompkins at Team 32. And so that means now Team 4 Armurchie, Team 5, and this is just looking at rankings. Team 4 Armurchie, Team 5 Lamar, one of those 2, and Toombs County at number 2, ranked number 2. So number 2 ranking Toombs County, number 4 ranked Armurchie, and Lamar County Team 5, they're all low left. Number 9 Jasper County was upset by Temple, so you only have 1 ranked team left upper left, and that's Putnam County, who gets Woodville Tompkins in round number 2. Right-hand side, Jeff Davis beat Bacon County 7-2. Swainsboro beat Berrien 1-0, so you end up with Jeff Davis hosting Swainsboro and Gordon Central and Coosa going to Thomasville to take on the Bulldogs as they beat Social Circle. Thomasville ranked number 7. Bremen ranked number 3. Ace Charter ranked number 5. They shut out their opponents, Elbert County and Worth County, respectively. Dalton Academy shut out Dodge, and Fannin County beat Barrow Arts 4-2. So Model, the top-ranked team in Class A Division I boys, is gone, and that opens up the upper left bracket in Class A D1 boys. So that's what you're looking at with all of those particular scores. But, yes, Woodville Tompkins, I think, probably the biggest upset that we've had in quite some time, knocking off Model and sending the number 1 seed home as we wrap up play in round number 1. Today, once again, it's Gordon Central and Coosa. It is the tail end of Hart County and Callaway, literally for just wrapping the thing up, wrapping up overtime, and if a goal is scored, then it's wrapped up. Or you go to PKs, and then you wrap it up, and then once again, the winner of that one goes to Cordele to take on Crisp County. So that's been the rundown of all of that. Once again, thanks to Chad Griffin, the head coach of both the boys and girls teams at at Hebron Christian, and then Nathan Nadeau, the head coach on the girls' side at Dooley County. Tomorrow, once again, John Bowen's going to join us 12:05 to talk a little Stars Mill, and we'll find out what's going on with his program as they get ready for a tough test. Because it's fun because I think we can catch up with them on match days because pretty much everything's in the barn at this point. Wednesday, it is we're looking for guests to be on In Session as we get ready for McIntosh and Johns Creek. Brian Lawson from Jeff Davis is going to join us at noon, and we are efforting a coach that is hoping to be on at 12:30 on Thursday. Once again, In Session Daily is Monday through Thursday this week because of the media game with Atlanta United happening on Friday. So that's all I know. That is your beginning of the week when it comes to soccer being in session here on the SDH Network, presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. Like I said, if you are near Gordon Central and Coosa, if you are near Hart County and Callaway, if you are near Islands and Luella, go. It's the end of round number 1, and it's a way to show support for all the seniors and the senior leadership that have come to the fore with from all of these squads that are playing today. The 3 matches that wrap up round number 1, and then we'll get you ready for round number 2 once again, starting tomorrow, visiting Stars Mill and all points in between. So that's the story here. Once again, soccer's in session here on the SDH Network. Thanks for all of you for dropping by, as you always do. And if you ever have any questions, just follow us on social media. And as we always say, we'll be back tomorrow at noon. We'll talk it all through, get you ready for round number 2, go back over the matchups that we talked about today, get visited by more coaches around the state, and we'll go soccer's in session daily until we can't go anymore, which means toward the end of the season, because, we'll have like finals and things. And that's why they call them finals. Mucha plata, y'all. Play it safe. Since it's the end of the show, that means I get to do this. Back at it again here at noon tomorrow, SDH AM, 9:05 Eastern on your Tuesday. Play it safe, everybody. See you soon.